So I've made a list of what the car's cost me basically. So the car itself sets me about £2 like that. I swapped my Mark 1 S3 for this with some cash my way. So this, when I first got it, set me about £2. Now the engine itself sets me about 600. I bought a Clio for 1200 quid and I sold £600 worth of parts off that Clio. I bought new inlets for this which were port matched, so they set me at 250. The induction kit was 250 as well. Now I'm running gas coilovers in the front and then just dampeners in the rear, which were 500 quid. Then the exhaust manifold, which is a 4 to a 2 to a 1, 2 1/4 all the way through, exhaust right down to the back, that set me at 1200. Then the respray, that set me at £2. I think the spoiler that was resprayed, that was a wanner. Fuel lines were 80 quid. I had to have aluminium hose joints, you know, internally, because I had to cut the hoses down to make them suit this engine. So they were 30 quid. Throttle cable 15, brake lines 40. Seam sealer for the underneath and in the bay, which was 15. I had a GT turbo rack, which is like a quick rack. I had one of them refurbed. So altogether that was 250. Handbrake cables were 60, discs 250, pads 60. The Rover 800 Recaros were 250 quid, but then I had to get them reupholstered, and I had centre stitching put into my rear seats to match the front ones. So that cost me 250 for the refurb as well. The bonnet bulge to have it welded in was 150, but the bonnet itself from the Clio Williams one was 50 quid because it was rusted, but the bulge was alright. This new bonnet, that was 100. The centre caps, which are spinning, are from at VIP Phil. I'll put these Instagram tag in the description. He'll do any centre caps. They were, I'll not tell you how much they are because I got a good deal on them because we're friends, but get down to Phil for them. Let's just say mystery price for them. So on poly bushes in the front, you can't actually get them for the rear axle, so on poly bushed in the front, they were 136. The engine mounts themselves, which are Vibra Racing mounts, were 261. My radiator with the fan and the brackets, that was 100 quid. The hoses themselves for the engine were 75. The wiring, bits of wiring here and there, which I've had to add in myself, I reckon added up to about 50 quid. The paint on the underside, which is primer plus paint, which I did myself, that added up to 100 quid. So the full kit itself, including like the rear, the front bumper, the arches and the side skirts, was 550. I had to get a new boot lid because mine was rusted slightly, so that was 50 quid. The fog lights at the front, which are ×4, were 100 quid. I've had the head off twice now, so I've had that redone twice, which was 500 quid. Coil pack, 50 quid. New spark plug lines, 20 quid. New spark plugs, 52 quid. New crank sensor, 15 quid. Fuel, I had to get a different fuel rail, so that was 45 quid. Fuel tank, which is a Williams fuel tank, was 20 quid. Fuel pump, 85 quid. The decals down the side, 40 quid. I had a new front window and then the rear window put back in, which was £80 for the new front screen and then £200 to have the windows refitted. The red trim on the rear bumper was 15 quid. The paint for the kit itself was 70 quid. I'm running a bias valve because I'm now running a new rear axle with discs. The bias valve itself was 40 quid. The steering wheel's a Sparco one, not actually sure what model, so I'll add it up here now, but that was 170 quid. The Boss for the wheel was 70 quid. A wide and a shift light, that was 9 quid. The temperature gauge itself was 38 quid. The visor, which you can see there just for the clocks, that was 25 quid. I've got a centre section from a GT Turbo in there, which connects the dash and the radio to the gear stick. That was 50 quid. The glove box itself, the glove box face I didn't have, which was 15 quid. The coin lid on top, that was a tenner. Mats are from Lidl, the them ones that you can cut down yourself, they were about 15 quid. Running a catch can, that's 15 quid. The blanking nipples for stuff that's not being used anymore, that was 30 quid. Jubilee clips, 20 quid. Oil, 34 quid, gearbox oil 48 quid, coolant 30 quid, brake fluid 15 quid. I had to get new master cylinders, which were 18 quid, new wheel bearings 26 quid, new tyres, well I say new, they were part worn from Facebook, 200 quid for a set of Nankang NS2Rs. I had the alloys refurbed. I'll drop their Instagram tag for the refurb lads in the YouTube. That was 250 quid. New CV boots 30 quid. With the head being off twice, I've had to do 2 head gaskets, which are 72 quid, and then 2 sets of head bolts, which are 40 quid. The rear pop outs themselves were 250. Then the hinges for the rear pop outs were 15 quid. And then the sections where you can pull them in, so what you push them in and out of, they were 50 quid. The rubbers, so the rubbers had perished on the windows, so I had to get new rubbers and plastics, they were 35 quid. I had to get new exhaust studs, they were 17 quid. New timing belt, that was 28 quid. New alternator belt, that was £6. New fuel pump plug, that was £12. New washer jets, they were £5. Selector rod spring, 15 quid. Rad expansion, coolant expansion tank, that was 15 quid. Slimline rad fan fixings, they were 6 quid. For the charge loom, I had to get a junction box, that was 15 quid. Braided brake hoses, they were 82 quid. Yeah, my calipers refresh, they were 150 quid. Then I got a new rear axle, that was 250 quid. Like exhaust manifold gaskets, which were 15 quid, and then I had to have an alternator bracket and one of the engine mounts fabbed up, that was 100 quid. So I'll break it all down on screen, but this is the grand total, whatever it is. I've not actually added it up myself. I'm gonna guess 13. Yeah, I reckon I've spent 13 on it. So if you wanted to build a Renault 5 and you wanted to do it to this standard of refurbing the underside and everything like that, obviously minus labour costs, because the only thing that I haven't done are the respray and the manifolds, so everything else has been done in-house in my granddad's garage. You can build one for whatever this grand total price is here. I'd say it's worth it for the car that you've got. I mean, I was having a bit of fun with one of the new Mustangs. I don't know what they cost, I'll put that on screen. But yeah, sort of pulled away from him on the back road just because it was too heavy. He'd probably done me on the motorway, which is fair enough, but that's not what this car's built for. It's not a straight line car. I'm not a straight line driver. So for the back roads, I'll take my chances with most things, especially anything new. My number plates, they were 50 quid, I think. They were from Retro Plates. He does a good job. I think that's everything, to be honest with you. Yeah, pretty much. But I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Just let us know what more you want to see. I want to try and get some more driving ones done before the end of the year, which will hopefully get done. And yeah, I've got a couple, if you've not checked out the Inbound TV review, check that out. But I've messaged a couple other people now, and we're going to get some stuff organised, if not for this year, but definitely for next year. So next year's the year. I've got a couple of bits and bats that need to be done to the car. Maybe put a PMS shifter in, so I'll add that to the fucking grand total, 400 quid. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And like I said, it's a slow burner, this YouTube stuff. Instagram's easy to put 10-second videos out, as well as TikTok and stuff like that, but YouTube's hard when you've got to make the content interesting. I can only do so many driving videos. I know you guys like that, but I'm definitely investing in some microphones so you can hear the car noise as we drive, because I know it's what a lot of you want to hear. But yeah, there's plenty of time before the salt comes on the road, so we've got a month, maybe another 2 months maximum before the salt comes on the road. So hopefully we have a hot end of September and I can get plenty of content for you lot. But yeah, the likes, subscribes and shares are very much appreciated in getting where I want to be. I'm going to go at it next year, going to do like a game plan over the winter, and then just go at it, just get as much exposure out there as I can, for myself and the car, because obviously this is something that I want to do full time. Yeah, I will be putting throttle bodies on the car at some point, and a limited slip diff. maybe a few other bits and bats, but I'm toying with the idea of buying something else. But if I'm buying something else, I need to extend the garage, which means extending the back of the house, which means 40 grand, 20 grand for the extension, 10 grand for the car, 10 grand putting in it to get it where I want to be. But this is a dream car of mine, what I've been looking at. But I don't want to ruin anything yet because it may never come off, unfortunately. That's why they are dream cars. But we can dream, can't we? So one day, this is a one-day car for a lot of people. So, you know, I'm grateful for what I've got and the car that I do have. And this is a forever car, again, a dream car. When I bought the car, I thought I'd never get it to this standard, and here we are, managing to do reviews on the cars, day in the bay with the likes of Maguire's. Thank you very much for Tommy for having me down, and the team of two that they have in there. It was really good, but yeah, it wouldn't be possible without everyone who's followed, shared, liked everything on Instagram, and obviously shown the support through TikTok and stuff like that. But this is definitely what I want to do now. I've got the bug, like the majority of you have. Thank you very much for watching.